Ashley, what is it? Oh, well, if you don't want me his wife, we made all these extra colors for you. You did? I did. Wow. I see purple and yellow and blue. Wow. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to make a little person. Maybe I'll use purple because I love it so much. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do purple.
So these guys are zinnias, and they didn't survive the summer. Unfortunately, I seeded these too late in the spring, and they were just barely hanging on. Yes, you see some green, but their root system is very, very weak, and they're not gonna survive. So I'd rather compost them, and I'm going to do another seeding. I'm not going to do zinnias. I'm going to just do a wildflower mix, a hummingbird and butterfly variety, because we got butterflies coming in right now, which is really exciting to see that they're coming in before fall. And we have a long heat, you know. We're in the desert, so it doesn't really get freezing until really late in the year. So the butterflies will still go all the way into November. So
It's the letter M for Mika. Oh, this is so fun. It really makes it easier to decorate your bags. Makes it easier to write things.
So the soil is actually really good. I have to keep the phone inside the trailer because it is already 100 degrees and the phone will overheat, so I have to come back in and keep the door open. But that's okay because we have no power. We're off grid. I have solar portable panels. That's what charges up all of our electronics, but we actually have no power in our RV. All of our lights, everything's battery. So the soil. The soil is actually really good. The problem is the heat. The heat in the environment. Gardening in the desert is really, really hard, and I do the best I can. I'm a regenerative farmer. I practice regenerative measures when it comes to gardening. So everything that I do is through compost teas. That's how I fertilize. All my composts are kitchen scrap based, and everything, the nitrogen that I use in my compost is it's all recycled from the garden. So whatever doesn't make it, like these zinnias didn't make it, they all go into compost, and I just recycle it like that. And all of my soil base, the manure that I do purchase to come in, because my compost is not big enough to, sustain me for the entire year of gardening, is hummus manure. It's mushroom based and it's plant based. I only work with that because I have worked with animal based products and I have worked with blood meal in the past. But what works the best for container gardening, for how long that I've been doing it, which is like, I've done it for a year in the city and like 2 years out here, so 3 years. I'm fairly new. The best for container gardening out here, I've been the most successful with plant-based mushroom compost. Eventually, I would love to build a mushroom farm, and I would love to get to that point so I can actually harvest my own mushrooms and make my own compost from that instead of buying it out from companies. But I just started this year off-grid and homesteading, so it's going to take a long time. I know a lot of other homesteaders said for them to establish a really great harvesting garden that sustains them can run anywhere from 5 to 10 years. So I have to give myself grace. But I know a lot of time when you're doing it, you're just like want things to happen. And I have to always remind myself that patience and take the time. You got this. Keep going. It's hard and you will cry. But at the end, it will be worth it. So this soil smells really well. I like to always smell my soil. I like to always make sure that it smells good, so there's no erosion, and that it's light and fluffy, no pests in there. I've been having a lot of praying mantises in the garden, which is amazing and awesome that I have been doing that. I've been seeing that. And I'm so happy for that because they are my exterminators. So they make sure that any little fly larva, because we've been having lots of flies, gnats, anything like that, aphids, which is a gardener's nightmare, the Japanese beetle, grasshoppers of all kinds, and crickets, they eat all of them and they keep them in check. So I actually have a video of a praying mantis eating the head off a grasshopper, which is pretty gnarly, man. So you don't want to ever underestimate the praying mantis. Those guys they are serious. But they are our best friends, right? They're our employees of the month in the garden. So I think the wildflowers are going to do great. They're going to grow pretty fast. I'm going to be doing a show in September coming up. So hopefully we'll have a good variety of wildflowers that I can have on the table. It's a small show. It's a local town show. It's a car show, so I'm happy, excited to do my first table, and I will be hopefully if it's not so hot and the temperatures are in the 90s, I could go live. I know I hit 1,000 followers. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. I want to start going live, but it's too hot out here. So I have to wait for the temperatures to cool down, but I will be going live soon. So you guys will be on first sight of desert life in the middle of nowhere. Off-grid homesteading out here and what it's like to be in the desert. So
Look at all of these friends. Oh, and me. Let's see what else is in this basket. Guess what? There's 2 more letters. The letter S. S for snake or spaghetti. And the letter O. Remember when we found the letter O before for octopus? Okay, it's S-O. So, let me see if there's some other letters in here. Maybe I can make a word. I have the letter U and the letter P. S-O-U-P spells soup. That gives me a great idea to make alphabet soup. Come on. Oh, let me clean up.
This is the plant-based compost I was talking about, mushroom-based, that I buy. Hopefully one day I don't have to buy it no more and I'll have my own.
If you want to watch more of my videos, all you have to do is search for my name. Will you spell my name? Cool. M-E-E-K-A-H. Mika. Hey, I found one more letter. It's the letter B for bye. Come on, everyone. Let's make learning fun. Mika, Mika. So much to learn about. It'll make you want to shout, Mika. Mika. Mika, Mika. Mika.
Baby, let me see the fun. Let me help you with your video. Come here. Oh, do you see it? There she is. My daughter loves Mika right now. So, no screaming. Let me see. Let me help you. Let me see, Mama. Oh, it's coming. You have to be patient. The signal does that. It comes on and off, honey. We're out in the outskirts. I know. It's the mountains. It'll come. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. There it goes. Yeah, our signal is always on and off. It's a hit or miss. So I'm going to see how the lives do. We'll see. I also use green sand, so that's what this is here. It's Texas green sand, and basically what this is from the sea. It's dried sea kelp, and they use a lot of sea kelp. It's all minerals and mineral derived, and it's from the sea. And I find it to be very well out here in the desert, because our air, everything is very dry, and everything is very high heat and very hard. This is hardy growing zones. I'm in hardy growing zone 8A and 8B. So I know there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I'm in 8A and 8B too. But if you look up the zones out here in Nevada, it's going to say hardy. That hardy is important, because the hardy in front of the 8A and 8B is what makes 8A and 8B very, very difficult. It basically means that our entire native soil is sand, rocks, and gravel, and it's got a good 80% of clay in it. So basically, once you put water to it, the water is going to stay above the ground and not seep in really fast. And so that's not really good, and that's because of all the sand. And the clay, once the water does seep in, it's going to turn into mud, and it's going to be like quicksand mud. Very, very sticky, and you can get stuck out here, especially when it's raining. So you have to know how to drive out here in these small towns, especially during monsoon season. But that's why a lot of these towns, a lot of people, we use type 2 gravel. That's because it's mixed with concrete and concrete materials. So it acts, once water hits it, it acts as a lighter version of putting concrete. And over time, it gets harder and harder. That's what most of all of these small towns' roads are made of. But this is the way to go. It's expensive because of the shipping, and I have to get it from Texas because there's no ocean or seas around here. But it is cheaper to get it from Texas than California, I'll say that. In California, the shipping is more costly than Texas. Why? Because California is our next door neighbor, a state. It's weird. It's just the way that goes. But green sand is really good. This company is a sustainable hydroponics company, and they do have a lot of products for regenerative farmers, and all of their products are organic certified. The next company I do like to use products from, and I do will say that is a very good company. Next to them is Fox Farms. Fox Farms are great, and they have really great products. They are also organic certified. So those are the two of my favorite companies that I will always buy from. But I always get the big, I have one left of a 40-pound bag. I always buy in quantity when I get this stuff, because this stuff is gold out here. It's Gardener's gold. So this is another potting soil, my favorite that I want to share. And you can find this in pretty much any nurseries that you come across. I know they have them in Home Depot nurseries. So if you got a Home Depot, you'll find them. They carry this name brand. So it's Nature, All Natural Nature's Source is the name brand. And the number one thing what I love about this potting soil is that it is 100% peat moss free. So you can use vegetables, flowers. So the 100% peat moss free is really important. The number one product that I will never touch or use is Miracle-Gro. Miracle-Gro is full of peat. And the thing with peat is that, you know, it's controversial when it comes to gardeners and farmers, because we use what we like, we use what we're used to. Miracle-Gro, you know, is it's even not that really cheap either. It's kind of expensive too, potted. The problem with peat is that you don't know what you get, you know. It could be contained with all kinds of toxins. It's known to be contained with sometimes human waste. Just all kinds of things that you just really don't know what you're putting into growing your stuff. So we don't need the peat. The peat is actually not really good for the environment. It doesn't help. It's important to think about what you're using, what you're gonna put back into the world, because even if you're container gardening like me, this all gets recycled back into earth, you know. It all gets absorbed with air when it rains, and everything gets leaked down from the container to the ground. It all cycles back. So all those particles matter. So peat free is the way to go. And it's not very expensive. It's not. You can get a this is actually a really good price for organic potting soil, and I believe it is a full 1.5 cubic feet. It's 42.5 pounds. Oh, liters, but it's a good 50-pound bag. And I believe I got it for like $7 at Home Depot. I think it's at 7. I think it's a little over 7. I think it's 7 something. So it's not bad at all. It's a better price than Miracle-Gro. So, little tip. And when it comes to the seeds of wildflowers, I just pour. That's it. Wildflowers are so easy. And it's a simple one, you know, it's the American Seed one. You can find these in the dollar stores. Very simple. They go really nice. These are my favorite actually, by the way. since I've been working with a lot of different wildflowers in this past couple of years. This is actually my favorite variety. There's surprises in here that sometimes are gold. So, like sometimes I find Rebecca on here. No joke. Water, I do everything by hand and I haul water in. So I haul water in about 3 times a week. And the next important step in gardening in the desert is our mulch. And I use straw. Long straw. Hay. It's long strain, and I use hay. And I use it in compost. I use it as top mulch for all my containers and gardening. And why? Because it's an insulator. It helps keep the moisture in the soil, and it helps to protect from the sun. It helps to just keep everything, you know, moist, so that when you're off-grid living and you're off-grid gardening, you're not there watering every day. You don't have to, because that hay keeps everything and the roots more healthy and wet, you know those words in gardening. But yeah, this is really good to use out here in the desert. another good tip when you're container gardening is to check the water flow when you're first initially putting water in. If the water leaks down really quickly, it means it's depleting nutrients, so it's time to fertilize or to put some nutrients in. And if it's just taking its time and it's just, you check the bottom and there's a little bit of water and it's still in the container, that's good, because the soil, everything's absorbing and it's working all together like it's supposed to. Just like this one. Finished with this guy here, ready to go in the garden.